हेलो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, कैसे हैं आप लोग। आज आफ्टर सम वीक्स आई विल ट्राई टू मेक ए वीडियो to on a very important subject like acute severe asthma. Previously I was ill because of fever, so I couldn't make the video. So today we'll discuss about acute severe asthma. Acute severe asthma. Previously it was known as status asthmaticus. Status asthmaticus. So acute severe asthma or status asthmaticus. Now definition. What is the definition of status asthmaticus? Acute severe asthma is an acute exacerbation of asthma that does not respond to standard treatment of asthma. मतलब क्या हुआ, जो एक्यूट सीवियर एस्थमा उस कंडीशन को कहते हैं जिसमें कि एस्थमा जो इतना ज्यादा एक्यूट स्टेज पे आता है जो कि स्टैंडर्ड ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ एस्थमा दैट इज ब्रोंकोडाइलेटर्स जो हम देते हैं इनहेलेशनल फॉर्म में, दे आर नॉट इफेक्टिव. सो राइट डाउन, acute severe asthma is defined as an acute exacerbation of asthma and the condition does not respond to standard treatment of bronchodilators. Bronchodilators and even corticosteroids. The symptoms include chest tightness. Chest tightness एकदम टाइट हो जाती है, सांस लेने में बहुत दिक्कत पेशेंट को. Chest tightness, rapidly progressive dyspnea, that is shortness of breath, dry cough, and use of accessory respiratory muscles which are sternocleidomastoid, trapezius and intercostal muscles. Use of accessory respiratory muscles, fast and labored breathing and extreme wheezing. So these are important features of acute exacerbation of asthma or acute severe asthma, previously known as status asthmaticus, that it includes the chest tightness, severe dyspnea and use of accessory respiratory muscles and fast and labored breathing and full of extreme wheezing, that is rhonchi, which are audible even from a distance. In the next line, it is a life-threatening episode of airway obstruction and is considered a medical emergency. The complications include cardiac and respiratory arrest. So this is very important medical emergency, and it's very serious because of its highly serious complications. Now, what are the signs and symptoms of acute severe asthma? Number 1, worsening of breathlessness, worsening of cough, worsening of wheezing. So signs and symptoms include symptoms and signs: worsening of cough, worsening of dyspnea, then worsening of wheezing, worsening of wheezing, inability to complete a sentence, inability to complete a sentence, and feeling of exhaustion. Feeling of exhaustion. So जो important signs and symptoms क्या क्या हैं? Worsening of breathlessness means dyspnea. Worsening of cough, पेशेंट बहुत ज़्यादा खांसी बढ़ जाती है बहुत ज़्यादा. Wheezing, चेस्ट में से आवाज आती है. Inability to complete a sentence and exhaustion. Because of severe breathlessness, patient's body feel exhausted. The respiratory rate is more than 20 per minute. Respiratory rate more than 20 per minute. Now, what is the normal respiratory rate? 14 to 16 breaths per minute. So, it is more than 20 breaths per minute. Heart rate is more than 110 per minute. Heart rate more than 110 beats per minute. Normal is up to 60 to 90. Then number 3, PEFR, that is peak expiratory flow rate. Peak expiratory flow rate is less than 50% of the predicted value for that age. And SpO2 less than 92%. SpO2 less than 92%. So these are signs and symptoms. They include, to revise, worsening of breathlessness, worsening of cough, worsening of wheezing, inability to complete a sentence, exhaustion, respiratory rate more than 20 per minute, normal is 14 to 16 per minute, heart rate more than 110 beats per minute, normal is 60 to 90 beats per minute, PEFR, that is peak expiratory flow rate, less than 50% of the predicted value for that age and height, and SpO2, that is oxygen concentration less than 92%. Other important features on examination: excessive muscles of respiration, as I told. First of all, understand what are the excessive muscles of respiration. Excessive means additional. Excessive muscles of respiration. These are working because the patient is not able to take breathing with the normal muscles. So what are the excessive muscles? I will make a diagram. Now this is head of the patient, this is neck. Here the sternocleidomastoid oblique muscle, which is attached here, sternocleidomastoid. Then on the back side, trapezius muscle, which is on the back. Then in the chest, intercostal muscles. And in the nose, this is, say, eyes. This is arinasal. They are also working. So now I will label it. This is ali nasal. Ali nasal. This is oblique muscle, sternocleidomastoid. Sternocleidomastoid. This is trapezius. And this is intercostal muscles. So these are excessive muscles of respiration. Arinasal, these are arinasal. This is sternocleidomastoid. Trapezius, this is back, whole of the back muscle like trapezium. This is the trapezius, intercostal muscles. So these excessive muscles of respiration are working. Then next, write down profuse sweating, and patient may have central cyanosis. Central cyanosis means there is bluish discoloration of the lips, tip of the tongue, buccal mucosa, and maybe, if the patient is very serious, tips of the fingers. So these features which I enumerated, they are patients of very serious asthma. Now there is another condition which is above this condition, that is more serious than this, that is known as near fatal asthma. Near fatal asthma. Near fatal asthma, bronchospasm progresses to almost total bronchoconstriction, presenting as silent chest. The patient has silent chest because there is hardly any air entry because of severe bronchoconstriction. Because of severe bronchoconstriction, there is hardly any air entry. So on examination of the chest by stethoscope, the chest will be silent. Then the peak expiratory flow rate, that is PEFR, which was less than 50%, in this case is less than 30% of the predicted value. SpO2 less than 60%. In the past it was 92%. PCO2 45 millimeter. And the arterial blood gas analysis shows the levels of oxygen, carbon dioxide and pH, all three are decreased. Arterial oxygen, carbon dioxide and pH, they are all decreased. So when these important points are present in a patient of acute severe asthma, that condition is known as near fatal asthma. That means if the patient is still not being properly managed, the patient is likely to die. So what is near fatal asthma? Bronchospasm progresses to almost total constriction, presenting as silent chest, PEFR less than 30%, SpO2 less than 60%, PCO2 less than 45 millimeter. Arterial blood gas analysis shows oxygen concentration, carbon dioxide concentration and pH less than normal. All three are decreased. Now what are the complications of acute severe asthma? Since it is a very serious condition, it has complications also. The complications include, number one, dehydration because of exhaustion, severe sweating, dehydration. Then number two, acute cor pulmonale, that means acute heart failure, right-sided heart failure. Cor pulmonale means right heart failure. Then third is pneumothorax. What is pneumothorax? Collection of air in the pleural cavity is known as pneumothorax. And the fourth one is death. So these are complications of acute severe asthma, that is number one, severe dehydration, number two, acute cor pulmonale, number three, pneumothorax, that is collection of air in the pleural cavity, and number four, death. Now coming to the management, since it is very serious illness, it should be managed very aggressively and nicely so as to save the patient from death. So number one is oxygen therapy. 2 to 4 liters per minute by nasal prongs or face mask. Management. Number 1 is oxygen therapy. 2 to 4 liters per minute either by nasal prongs. Nasal prongs are placed in the nose. Nasal prongs or face mask. So first step in the management is oxygen therapy. Number 2 is high doses of inhaled bronchodilators, which include SABA and LAMA. High dosage of inhaled bronchodilators through nebulizer. That includes short-acting bronchoagonist or short-acting bronchodilators and long-acting muscarinic agents. LAMA. So SABA and LAMA, that means salbutamol or ipratropium solution is given in a dose of TID, QID depending on the requirement. Salbutamol and ipratropium. Then third point in the management is systemic steroids. Third point is systemic steroids. In a dose of 40 to 60 milligram methylprednisolone. (40 to 60 milligram methylprednisolone in a bolus dose and later on 6 hours. Then number 4, injection aminophylline. Aminophylline intravenously when the BP is more than 110 millimeter systolic. If it is less than 110 millimeter systolic, then we are not to use aminophylline. Then we can use injection darifylline. So fourth step is aminophylline or darifylline. And fifth step is IV fluids. IV fluids for taking care of dehydration, but it should be used judiciously in elderly patients to avoid congestive heart failure. In patients who are not controlled with these measures, we can request the anesthetist for intubation and ventilatory support. Intubation and ventilatory support. Then Number next, 7 number, intravenous broad spectrum antibiotics for patient who has evidence of infection by organisms evidenced by increased values of total leukocytic count with neutrophilia. In still very serious patients who are not controlled with these measures, then patients are to be given general anesthesia with halothane with the help of anesthetist, and that will paralyze the muscles and ventilatory support, intermittent positive pressure respiration, and the patient is being taken care of bronchoconstriction. But the patient who needs these last measures is very serious and his prognosis is very bad. In some patients, especially children, injection magnesium sulfate intramuscularly can also be used. So these are important management measures to recollect. Number 1 is oxygen therapy, 2 to 4 liters per minute by nasal prongs or face mask is to be given. Number 2, high doses of inhaled bronchodilators that include SABA and LAMA, that is salbutamol, ipratropium solution. Number 3, systemic steroids, that is injection methylprednisolone 40 to 60 milligram in a bolus dose and may be repeated every 4 to 6 hours depending on the requirement. Then number 4, injection aminophylline or injection darifylline to be used. Then number 5, intravenous fluids for hydration, but judicious use should be there in patients of old age or elderly individuals. Number 6, intubation and mechanical ventilation for unresponsive patients. IV broad spectrum antibiotics in which there is evidence of infection by raised TLC levels and with neutrophilia. In still serious patients, general anesthesia with halothane may be used to paralyze all the muscles and take away the patient from severe bronchoconstriction, but the prognosis is very poor in this condition. And last of all, in some patients, especially in children, injection magnesium sulfate can also be used. Now coming to the prognosis. Prognosis is, if managed in the initial stages, it is quite satisfactory. It means prognosis in the early stages is satisfactory. Whereas in patients who are late in the hospital or who are elderly individuals having some other problems along with, like hypertension, diabetes, heart attack, myocardial infarction, in such patients the prognosis is not good and mortality is very high, especially in patients in whom general anesthesia is used for relieving the bronchospasm. So with these words, I will like to finish this topic of acute severe asthma, and I will request you to go through my previous topics as well, videos of neurology section, status epilepticus, epilepsy part 1, epilepsy part 2. I will be continuing with further epilepsy topics in due course of time, and for BMS students some important emergency conditions like this status asthmaticus is discussed, and they are requested to follow it up and also read it from the books. Go to my app and subscribe to it. Any comments, any queries are welcome in my section in the queries. So go to my app from the Apple Play Store or even from the Android Play Store. Thank you.